4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay, in 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
4, 3. In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
Tú eres tan romántico molestando con una vipa. Me preguntas si te quiero. Yo te digo que no estoy lista y no quiero comenzar. No hay nada que empezar. Yo te dejaré atrás. Mientras gano más y más. No estás en mi nivel y tú no eres obligación. No estás motivada y tú aburre mi corazón. Eres un idiota sin inteligencia y razón. Entonces déjame tranquilo.
Do it live. I'll write it.
Tú eres tan romántico molestando con una vipa. Me preguntas déjame pero yo
Do it
te digo
live.
que no estoy lista y no quiero comenzar. No hay nada que empezar. Yo te dejaré atrás. Mientras gano más y más. No estás en mi nivel y tú no eres obligación. No estás tú aburre mi corazón. Eres un idiota sin inteligencia y razón. Entonces déjame tranquila mientras escriba esta canción. Estoy aquí a disfrutar. Estoy aquí pero quiero gozar. Si quieres a mí pero vamos a bailar. Cintura a cintura papi tra tra tra. Bailando, gozando y me gusta tomar. Pero no quiero pendejos que no quieren respetar. Déjame pendejo papi ya no más. Déjame pendejo papi ya no más. Estoy aquí a disfrutar. Estoy aquí pero quiero gozar. Si quieres a mí pero vamos a bailar. Cintura a cintura papi tra tra tra. Bailando, gozando y me gusta tomar. Pero no quiero pendejos que no quieren respetar. Déjame pendejo papi ya no más. Déjame pendejo papi ya no más.
What is up? ¿Qué onda, mi gente? It is your boy Luis Martinez, aka at Big Chief Burrito, with my beautiful and talented co-host at Sofia Car _ Mi Gente Show. How you doing today, Sofia?
I'm doing amazing. ¿Cómo estás tú, Luis?
¿Cómo está aquí? You know,
Good?
llevándolo con take it easy, as they say.
Oh, okay. Taking it easy. Me too.
Mi Gente Show, live from Southern California. No guest today, so that gives us time to goof around, do all the tabs, catch in on stuff that's been happening. Thank you for everybody. If you stop by, go ahead and leave a like on the stream. If you see us scrolling by, say hello on your feed. If you're on your desktop, just go ahead and click on it and leave it open in the background. Don't worry about it. We'll be there. Feel free to lurk. Feel free to ask any questions, comments, funny stories, everything. All are welcome.
Yes, and leave an anonymous way as well. All right, we're still accepting submissions.
Still accepting. I'm gonna get into a habit of posting that in the comments when I get up, because that helps a little bit. Well, let's jump into any personal news, Miss Carrillo.
Personal news. I can't think of anything that's not sad right now. I got Cookie's ashes. I don't know. I can't. Okay, sorry. I shouldn't.
We're talking dead dogs.
We're talking dead dogs right now. I got her ashes earlier in the week, so there's that. That was exciting. She came home. I cried. It was great. Cathartic. It was very cathartic. Como dice la Selena Gomez, and that's good.
Don't be sad. Don't be sad.
Don't be sad. That's sad.
That's sad. Don't be sad.
But yeah, other than that, Honey's gonna get spayed on
Good.
Saturday.
Good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Um, wow, I should have more news. And my niece is getting really chunky and adorable. She's a little
Yeah.
baby.
I got 2 twin nieces in the Midwest that
Oh,
I keep seeing that are good. So that's good. So family's good.
yeah. How about
My
you?
well, dogs are fine. I gave also a bath today, and I had a consultation virtually with a German Shepherd expert. Because the thing is, and this is why I love mutts and crossbreeds, because I've always had like mixed pit bulls and just mutts, and they usually have like steel stomachs where they can eat anything. But one of the issues that you have with specialized breeds is that they're super picky about what they can eat, and they develop like food allergies, and it's
Oh.
one of the things that sucks about having purebred German Shepherd.
Mhm.
And so that wasn't something. So apparently, me giving him like the rest of my carne asada fries and stuff like that is not necessarily the best thing for him. He's supposed to be grain free,
Oh,
so
what?
he's got like a yeast thing that
Oh
we have to clear
no.
it up. But it saved me a lot of money talking and doing my research and talking to people about it, because um basically what I found out is that you take them to the vet, they're going to do a bunch of tests, do this and that, and it's going to be like
Mhm.
$400, and then it's going to be like, so we're going to go with some natural treatments and see how that works, change his diet up a little bit.
Oh
Hopefully that
no.
helps him. Yeah, it's all right.
I didn't know he was purebred. I mean, I all I know are mutts, so
Yeah, exactly. German shepherds. I mean, if you get a German shepherd, yeah, they're purebred, and that's gonna
yeah.
be. Yeah, I'm just used to dogs that have like steel stomachs that like
Yeah, my
nothing.
yeah, all of mine do, so I'm very lucky.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh no, and it's gonna suck because he's not gonna get any more table scraps. But
Mm,
you
well,
got to do what you got to do.
mhm.
I can talk. I had 3 teeth pulled out of me last Friday. Uh,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, how was your recovery?
oh, dude. First of all, the little Asian doctor was a fucking maniac. Um,
What?
I don't know what was up with that guy, but he was like, I don't know. First of all, he was talking like I wasn't there.
Mhm.
To the because I had my headphones on, because I had like my earbuds on, because I was like, all right, I'll listen to it. I had like a podcast set up. I was ready to go.
Mhm.
So maybe they thought I had the volume up, but they were like talking shit about me the whole time, and like,
No.
yeah, no, because he said that I sat down, and then he was like, oh, blah 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 blah, something about tattoos, and I pay attention, and I was like, what did he say about tattoos? And then he like sat me down in a thing, and then he was like, oh, he's got a lot of tattoos, and and then I was like, all right. And then I've had teeth extraction before where I got dry socket.
Mhm.
Let me flip you around so I'm looking at you.
Okay.
Where I got dry socket, and so I asked them to do like some sutures, so that it's less likely to happen.
Mhm.
So I don't do sutures. And then I was like, look, I've had like 4 teeth. I've had 2 wisdom teeth, couple other teeth that I got pulled out, and the only time that it didn't get dry socket was when I got sutures put in. So could you do that? I was like, all right, I'll do it for you. And then while he was there, he was talking shit, and he was talking like, "Yeah, my kid might have COVID, but I just took him out of school and told the teacher that he had a dental appointment." He's like, "I can lie like that because I can get." I was like, "Oh my god, this guy's a piece of."
No.
And then when he did all the shots and they got in there, dude, that motherfucker was basically like standing on my chest, like pulling the
Oh
teeth
my
out.
god.
Like he was lifting my head off the table. I was like, like that, and he fucking got in there twisting around.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
so so I was all bruised up, and I'm still chunky. This isn't my normal
yeah.
fat. This is extra chunky from all the shots
Abuse.
that I got in the
Mm,
abuse, and yeah. But I got through it with no dry socket.
nice.
I got through my antibiotics, and I'm feeling almost probably like 75%. I'm still a little bit like still taking some pain meds, excuse me, some pain meds, etc.
Mhm.
But overall, not horrible.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, I had a similar experience with one of my wisdom teeth because I got them all separately, and
Mhm.
yeah, one of them that it like cracked, and mine was a Mexican doctor, and he was
Oh,
savage. He was just like digging
oh,
in there, like, "Arr!" It hurt.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, it was 3 different teeth and 3 different areas, but it took a grand total of like the longest part was me filling out paperwork and them numbing me up because they gave me
Mhm.
shots and it didn't work, so they gave me more shots. And then he fucking gave me some fucking deep ass shots, and I was like, ah. He's like, yeah. And then I filled out some paperwork, and then when he actually got to taking him out, it was like 15, 20 minutes max. Like he was in there. He got in there fast. He's like, little drill, little this, come on, let's go. And like, so I got here and then more back here. So good. Now I'm
well, that's over with. Hey.
Yeah, that's over with. I got through the week, so hopefully back to normal. So that's been personal news.
Yeah.
All right, what do we want to jump into first?
Whatever you like.
All right. Okay, so let's jump into, and then we're live tonight, recording for the next audio pod. Oh, really? Before I forget, because I was supposed to do this a couple of weeks ago. Deborah Castañeda sent us a book.
Oh, where did mine go? Darn. It's over there. I'll get it. Hold on.
All right. So shout out. We're doing live opening on stream.
Okay. Mine's already open, so I'm gonna wait until. Oh, there you go.
Oh, look at that!
I love it, Deborah. Thank you, Deborah. We love you.
I almost like don't want to open it up, but
I know it's been like it's just so pretty, but I also want to read it.
Also, yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna take it off like this, and that way I can serve that. And then check out the interview we did with her a couple of weeks ago called The Monsters of Chavez Ravine. She wrote a book called The Monsters of Chavez Ravine, which is a mix of the real life story of the Chavez Ravine area in LA with some fictionalized monsters. And she's also authored some other book. And she sent us some author copies of her current book.
Yes.
This is cool. A Dark Earth Rising novel, The Root Witch.
Oh, I'm so excited.
By Deborah Castañeda.
Yes.
That's a cool book.
That is sick.
And she signed it.
Did she? Oh, I love her.
She signed it.
Oh, she did, and she gave us a bookmark.
And a bookmark. Oh my God! So here are the French benefits that I told you about when we start a podcast. Free books.
Yeah.
So thank you, Deborah Castañeda, very much.
Yes, thank you so much. I will be reading this, and we will review it.
Yeah, this is definitely like a fall spooky season read, right? Like this is perfect for like, man, it's like, oh man, it's good. It's good quality of the pages. Love exciting. All right, so thank you, Deborah Castañeda, very much for hooking us up with The Root Witch. Go find her books on Amazon or buy yourself a copy and check it out. All right, so okay, let's just go in order of stuff that I have here. The new January 6th Commission footage dropped. So we give Nancy Pelosi a lot of shit, right? Because she's an old, curmudgeon, evil, right? Runs the world. She needs to go.
Root witch.
She's the Root Witch. Speaking of the Root Witch,
good segue.
Good segue there. This was video of her on January 6th. This just got dropped today by the January 6th Commission. We're watching that audio, people.
Senator Schumer is at a secure location, and they're locked down in the Senate.
There has to be some way we can maintain the sense that people
can't hear you. Got a mask on.
That there's some security or some confidence that government can function and that we can elect the President of the United States. Did we go back into session?
We did go back into session, but now apparently everybody on the floor is putting on their gas masks to prepare for a breach.
Oh.
I'm trying to get more information.
They're putting on their tear gas masks.
So this is BTS of January 6th when they had him in their secure.
Yeah.
We need an area 40 council members. They're all walking over now to the tunnel.
Is that Ashley Babbitt?
It
could be. I don't know.
I don't know.
We have some senators who are still in their hideaways. They need massive personnel now. Can you get the Maryland National Guard to come too?
I have something to say, Mr. Secretary. Well, I'm going to call the mayor of Washington, D.C. right now and see what other outreach she has, other police departments that send, Leader Porter has mentioned. Hi, Governor. This is Nancy.
It's me, Nancy.
Hi.
Union National Guard, Hoyer was speaking to Governor Hogan, but I still think you probably need the okay of the federal government in order to come into another jurisdiction.
And she's in the building, right?
Thank you.
Oh snap.
They're just breaking windows, they're doing all kinds of, it's really that somebody.
She's keeping it together for 70-something, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say she's very calm and collected.
Instigation of the President of the United States.
Of course she is. She planned it, Sophia.
True. Which is allegedly, people.
Thank you.
Are they in the building though? They are, right?
Yeah, they're in the basement. They sent you. So
And a unit.
I don't know. I saw a bunch of people like post this, and they were like, "We did have a president that day, and her name was Nancy Pelosi." Like, I don't know. This is supposed to make her look heroic.
Nothing. The concern we have about personal safety is it just transcends everything. But the fact is, on any given day, they're breaking the law in many different ways. And quite frankly, much of it at the
I'd agree. I'd say that this probably is really good publicity for her.
And now, if he could at least somewhat.
Yeah, why don't you get the president to tell them to leave the Capitol, Mr. Attorney General, your law enforcement responsibility. A public statement, they should all leave.
Oh my God, look at Trump.
It's peaceful protesters.
Yeah, super peaceful.
Just we're waiting for so-and-so. We need them there now, whoever you got.
You also have troops, this is Steady Warrior troops,
We have
Fort Virginia, Andrews Air Force Base, other military bases.
Thank you.
We need active duty National Guard.
How soon in the future can you have the place evacuated, cleaned out?
So
Just pretend for a moment it was a wind farm, or the White House, or some other entity that was under siege. And let me say, you can logistically get people there as you make the plan.
so one. I guess it's interesting. Like at the end of the day, like it's still a phone call that you got to make, like, you know, all the technology and stuff that they have, all the stuff that they have in place, and it's still a bunch of people huddled around the fucking
an
iPhone.
Yeah, and it took hours too.
Asking for cops.
Yeah, exactly.
We're trying to figure out how we can get this job done today. We talked to Mitch about it earlier. He's not in the room right now, but he was with us earlier and said, you know, we want to expedite this, and hopefully they could confine it to just one complaint. And then we could vote, and that would be, you know, then just move forward with the rest of the state. The overriding wish is to do it at the Capitol. What we are being told very directly is it's going to take days for the Capitol to be okay again. We've gotten a really bad report about the condition of the House floor with defecation and all that kind of thing.
They shit on the walls.
That's hard to clean up.
It's hard to
But I do
clean.
think it is more from a security standpoint of making sure that everybody is out of the building, and how long will that take? I just got off with the Vice President.
I got off with the Vice President-elect.
Oh my God, it's 4:30 already. This started at like 2 p.m.
Conversation with, because he said he had the impression from Mitch that Mitch wants everybody back to do it there. I said, well, we're getting a counterpoint where we could take a turn to clean up the poo-poo that they're making all over, literally and figuratively, in the cabinet, and that but it may take days to get back.
Start 6 p.m. Jeez.
Yeah, do you remember this?
Not gonna lie, I slept through it. I woke up and the first DM that I checked, they were like, "You'll never believe what happened. Look at the news."
Good news.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. Good.
All right. Back at it.
7 p.m. Back at it again.
I mean, this makes her look good, but I don't think it makes her look like presidential.
No, it doesn't make her look like a hero or anything. She made a bunch of phone calls. I think it makes her look good as in she was taking action, but also isn't that her responsibility? Right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you talk about the difference between like the people that just like ran, or there's like Lauren Boebert was like tweeting her location, like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Lauren Boebert. I know.
So good for her.
Good for her. Yeah.
Good for her. Good for her.
Good for her. I think they subpoenaed Trump as well, no? Like he's gonna have to go into court.
Yeah, but it's like it was like the last thing that they did, and it sort of feels a little bit like it's just posturing, because like it's not really gonna do anything.
Yeah.
From what I'm seeing so far.
Do you think there's gonna be some results, some actual consequences to January 6th?
There is. A shitload of people are in jail.
Yeah,
and also on that Right Stuff app, apparently one of the prompts to talk about yourself was like January 6th was.
No!
And then people were like, I was there, and then they were getting hit up by the FBI.
That's wonderful. Oh my gosh. Dude, I did not make my profile, but I kind of want to.
Oh, you got to get invited, I think. That was the thing. Yeah.
You do? Oh, Republicans. Why don't you like me? That's sad.
That's sad. That's sad that you can't go find yourself a nice Republic man.
The right. Oh, you're
All
right. It's like not on here. Damn.
Inside. All right, so let's knock out the politics stuff then.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about President Biden pardoning people convicted of marijuana possession?
Yes, I love him. Well, okay, hold on, honey. Hi, thank you. That's my dog. Sorry, guys. So it's good because he's pardoning to. I believe he can only pardon to the federal level. So it's still up to the states to decide. But overall, I think that this man really wants to get a vote, because first the student loan debt, and now pardoning of marijuana possession.
Even though they pulled it back a little bit on the student loan to eliminate privately held debt, but it's still there.
Yeah, they did.
And it's going to get challenged. It's going to get challenged, and the Republicans are suing to stop it, which makes no fucking sense.
That's true. I did get an email though from Federal Student Aid today, and the application is going to be super simple. It's already all tied to my federalstudentaid.gov, page.
Account.
So it should be fairly easy to get approved or not. And then also they postponed all student debt payments until January, I believe. So I don't even have to be
election.
Yeah, so I don't have to be making any payments. I was supposed to start last month. I haven't made a single payment, and now I think most of it's gonna get
Nice. All right. Yeah. Well, Doug Brandon is attempting to swing the election by doing presidential stuff. He said his intent is to pardon only the offense of simple possession of marijuana in violation of federal or violation of DC code. No language shall be constructed to pardon any person for any other offense, including possession of other controlled substances. But they will be pardoned for the offense of simple possession of marijuana. Yeah, I love the future.
I know, I love it too. I think they're also going to look into the what is that called? Taking it off of Schedule 1. Yeah. Which is, I think, super important. I hope that the states follow suit. But I think for me, this is enough to earn my vote. What about you? How do you feel?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's definitely running again, right?
See, that's the hard part. I don't see him like as mentally stable to run again. I feel like that maybe Kamala is gonna do it, and he was gonna be like, oh, vote for my homegirl, you know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think. I think Kamala is so out of it in terms of
I
just
know.
like I don't know, man. What did she go? She went to Florida and she's like, no, the Hurricane Aid is going to be given out via
Yeah.
equity or something, and everybody was like, what?
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. And then she didn't do that great when she was in California. She put a lot of people in jail for weed and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah,
Like
not what it
I
takes.
get that it's like first female, first like person of Indian descent. That's in the White House. First female
Mhm.
vice president. It's a lot of stuff that was there, but like, is this enough to earn my vote for Democrats? Yeah, but because what's the alternative? Trump or DeSantis? I mean,
Yeah.
it's either Trump or younger, more horrible Trump.
Yeah.
DeSantis is like Trump, but with like a little bit more political savviness, right? And a little
Mhm.
bit, because Trump's got the media savviness, but I think DeSantis is probably more politically savvy.
Yeah.
So the Trump 2.0 or Uncle Joe again.
Mhm.
I mean, it's definitely Uncle Joe, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they're not going to let Bernie run, so
Mm-mm.
we get what we get.
It's a no-brainer, I know, but it does feel like the lesser of two evils because even though he's doing great things, it's only, bare minimum what you could do.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but it's either that or a Republican, which is gonna
The question is, does
look away
this move
right.
the needle for Democrats, and does this help them keep the Senate and possibly take Congress?
Uh, I hope so. I believe it could. Um, but I also don't know because they are pandering more so towards like liberal ideals. So I think if you're really hardcore right, you're still gonna have that, that
Yeah,
anger and disdain for the left regardless. But
yeah. For example, like the Herschel Walker thing. Herschel Walker
hmm
got caught. He's pro-life. He's handpicked by Trump to run in Georgia against Warnock, against Raphael Warnock, right?
hmm
And it comes out that he paid for multiple abortions. He's got kids with all kinds of different baby mamas. His son, who the
Yeah.
right loved because he was a gay black Republican, and now they all turned on him.
Yep.
Christian Walker, who we've talked about before,
Yeah, we have.
and he's not going to lose one vote. Because from the hardcore right, because the same reason that they voted for Trump, even though they knew he didn't know one you could put a gun to Trump's head and say recite 2 words from the Bible, and he could not do it.
No.
But they didn't care because he put in right-wing Christian conservative
hmm
fascist judges on the Supreme Court.
hmm
So as long as the candidate that they get there does the thing that they want to do, they could care less whether they're actually uphold the values that they pretend to uphold.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, the right is very like they're very like team oriented in the sense that like even if they see a hypocrisy within one of their team members, they will still stand by him like no matter what.
yeah, what's his McConnell or the other guy are like, yeah, do you like Trump Republicans or do you like non-Trump Republicans? He's like, I like the ones that win.
Yeah, see. Yeah.
That's all I care about.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, moving on. All right, let's knock this story that I care zero about.
Which one?
The Try Guys.
The Try Guys one? Okay. That one, do you want me to explain it to you?
Yeah, let's let you take the lead on that one because
have
number
you
one,
watched the
no.
Try Guys before? No? Oh, okay. Okay.
Like this is
It's
one
just
of the
basically cheese man.
this is just one of the things that came out where I was like, and it was just trending different places, and I was like, I've never watched any of the videos, so why don't you walk us through it?
All right. So I'm sure everyone has already heard because it's been all over Twitter, all over the internet. But Try Guys, for those of you who don't know, they were a very popular group who had a series in BuzzFeed. They started off in BuzzFeed, and Basically, they just try things. They're guys that try things. And they got enough of a following that they branched out and made their own production company. And it's made up of those 4 guys. Now they all have their own little like archetype person. So like Ned Fulmer, for example, his shtick was that he loves his wife. He was a normal, quote unquote. He was like the protagonist, sort of. And you have Keith, and then you have Eugene, who's like the hot one, and Keith, who's like the dorky one that eats everything. Oh, pause it. Pause. And then I forgot the other one. The other one, the irrelevant one, right? Anyway, long story short.
Which one of them is Ned?
Oh, guess.
Oh, okay. The middle one.
Yes, good job, dude. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
I was
him.
about to say,
So,
all right.
yeah, he's the one that like everyone was just like, oh my God, him and his wife are goals. He always talks about his wife. That was his whole shtick, right? And then it comes out that he was having a like year or 2 long affair with one of his workers, like a girl that worked in his production company. So not only did he fuck up his marriage because he got caught through Reddit, so they started to be less sneaky and less careful, and fans started
Somebody caught
recognizing them
him.
together.
Somebody took a video of them making out at a party, right?
Yeah, and they sent it to her fiance and his wife. And then, anyway, long story short, this man in one fell swoop ruined his relationship with his wife, with his kids, and his whole career. It ended him. And yeah, okay, you can play the video now. This is great.
He canceled. He canceled himself.
Yeah.
My wife. 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 My wife.
It just keeps going. He is insane. It keeps going. You can stop it. But
My
yeah,
wife.
my wife. He the my wife guy tried infidelity. So yeah, that's the tea. I don't know. As someone who has no experience with this guy, well, how do you feel about not only infidelity, but also within the workplace? Do you think that they were right to have fired him? Because they did fire him. They did move on without him. And yeah.
Well, anybody that brands themselves as a devoted husband is that's usually kind of a red flag there if people are branding themselves as that, in my opinion. It feels kind of a little bit sus if your whole shtick is family. I did see the SNL bit where they were basically making fun of the fact that it was a thing at all, and people made such a big deal about it, because it was like, oh, he had a consensual affair. I mean, his wife and her fiance didn't consent to the affair, but it wasn't like. So I guess the whole thing is about the power dynamic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're very much a victim of who their audience is, because I think to people like me, it's like, oh, he got caught cheating.
Mm-hmm.
He should have moved better. He should have covered. You know what I mean? Or maybe he should have he should have divorced his wife if he was in love with a new chick or whatever. But so if it was to somebody me, I wouldn't. But I guess if the people who watch them are more like younger millennials or Gen Z, they really have a problem with problems with anything that includes a power dynamic or an age gap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I hate to be the devil's advocate, but like, and that's a lie. I love being the devil's advocate. But I don't think I'm as mad at him as I should be, as everyone is online. I think the cheating is fucked up, because anyone that has an affair, like, it was very planned and very calculated, and I think that's trash. And I don't like the fact that he got with a coworker. But I don't know, man. I'm split between like, yes, he was like he deserves to lose his job over it, only because it makes sense, because he was the wife guy. His wife worked for the company, and he did cheat with someone of the company. So I guess it does make sense. But also part of me is kind of like, oh man, it's like he had an affair. I don't know how punished he should be. I don't know. Maybe that is justified. Do you think it's justified?
I think it's like I said. I think it's par for the course now, but I think it's a little bit of overkill when you really think about what he did. I mean, is it fucked up? But yeah, people cheat on each other all the time. You know, people
Mhm.
have affairs all the time. So
But what about the workplace aspect, I guess?
you know, I think that I would be a hypocrite if I said that I thought it was wrong because I think
Mhm.
it's like one of the few places where you could meet people. And I benefited for a long time from meeting people that I ended up dating that worked with me,
Mhm.
both that were colleagues or when I was a supervisor and a manager that were under me. So I wouldn't be able to sustain an argument and maintain the upper
Yeah.
the the high ground on any discussion. So I can't just be like, it's wrong. I'm like, no, that's kind of like a thing. Like
Mhm.
if you have power or if you're sort of have something going on and you're around that. Like I've had girls talk that I like on movie sets, right?
Mhm.
And that I was because I've dated people that I've worked with in the past and I try not to anymore. But that like when we start filming and I address the whole people and I'm like, all right, this is what I need. This is what's gonna happen. Boom, 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 boom. And they're like, oh, and then they came and they told me like, oh, I was so turned down watching you talk and like manage and direct everybody. And that's a true thing, right? Some people
Yeah.
are attracted to people that display power or authority. It's a thing.
Mhm.
So if she was working for him and they're working together, there is such a thing as sexual tension. And
Mhm.
and sometimes and sometimes really when you work side by side with somebody and it is one of those situations, sometimes you just gotta bang it out. Get it out of you gotta get it out of the way. You know what I
Man,
mean?
but
So
they
that
had
you
year-longs of an affair. This was a
so
planned
they had some
thing.
sexual tension, they banged it out, and then they realized that they enjoyed that. So they're like, let's keep
We
doing
do
it.
it
And then
again.
and then
Yeah.
they got in trouble because they let it go on too far.
Yeah.
That's to me, that's more of a like do I like I know they like would try weird foods and
Mhm.
go on adventures. Like if I like those type of videos,
Not
would
watch
it
it.
make me like those videos less just because the guy cheats on his wife or doesn't cheat? I don't think it changes the content at all.
Mhm.
I think people love to get offended at those things, though. They're like, "Oh my God, he put himself out there as like the Family Guy, but then he wasn't."
What I will say is it does affect the content only because his wife worked for the company as well, and they were like,
Yeah,
all of
I
that.
think that they had to go to like put out a statement and like we're gonna scrub him from past episodes and moving forward and all this other stuff. It just seems like it's almost
Yeah.
cringy. Like it's just such an overcorrection.
This is like the grayest take that we've seen so far. I feel like everyone has been just trashing him.
Yeah, but like I said, like I didn't know they existed, and so all of a sudden it was like try guys, and then I was like, who the fuck are the try guys? And then through no fault of my own, I kept seeing more about it, and then I was like, all right, it's faded. And then you're like, let's talk about the try guys, and I was like,
Yeah.
sure, why not? But my
You sound so like uncomfortable talking about infidelity. Why?
I like Kurt's take. Who the f cares?
Mhm.
Well, I don't know. I just think that I don't know, man. I'm not like I don't know. I don't think I'm this. I've adhered strictly to like monogamy my entire life, so I can't. Listen. I'm not a hypocrite.
Have you cheated?
Yes, I've cheated. I've cheated. I've
Okay, that
cheated. I've
makes
cheated
sense.
and been cheated on, and I've had open relationships, and I've had and I've had open relationships where I didn't know it was open. So-
How did you find out?
oh, we weren't in an open.
You're like, oh, I didn't know. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's
I
fine.
mean, saying I've cheated and I've been cheated on, and part of me really feels that it's hard to find somebody. Right? Isn't the thing like you stop producing dopamine and like and stop getting those physical feelings of love for somebody after 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So to make it past 2 years with somebody, it's got to go past like just passionate love, and it turns into like comfortableness and like building something and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So I try to be. That's one of those young Louis, old Louis, like young Louis in his 20s, full of energy, full of anger, having these deep conversations with girls and getting mad about stuff. And now I'm less like, whatever, man. Let's be. Our time together is our time together, and our time apart is our time apart.
Very pragmatic. I love it.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's an old Jay-Z quote as well. So yeah, who gives an F about the Try Guys?
So now on that note, let's talk about Adam Levine. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, the Adam Levine stuff was also interesting because it's like
that when she was pregnant. Yeah,
it's because he tried to name his new baby after his side chick. That's
wild. And then also the DMing, like you're so famous.
It's so famous.
Why are you DMing people?
Yeah, you never know. Okay, let's get into this. Is an interesting video I saw today. This is in Spanish. This is an interesting one.
Okay.
Hello. Good afternoon.
No, ningún afternoon y ningún hello. No, ninguno. Aquí tú hablas español. Esto es un programa en español. Aquí se habla español. Aquí nosotros nos ponemos letreritos. Y tú te llamas Luna.
Yes.
Your name is not Moon. Okay.
Well, it sounds pretty really Luna.
Así que Luna. Y me hablas español aquí. Y no te hagas la cómica. No lo hagas. ¿De dónde tú eres? ¿De dónde eres?
I was born in Colombia.
Háblame español. Me hablas español.
I don't feel comfortable talking.
Si no hablas español, te vas. Así que hablas español o te vas. ¿Me estás entendiendo?
People in the audience like, what?
A mí no me vas a hacer reto. No me vas a hacer reto. No me interesa. Tus retos cochinos, estúpido, idiota. Tú sabes, el que habla 2 idiomas se llama bilingüe. El que habla 3 le dicen trilingüe. Tú sabes el que habla 1, como le dicen. ¿Sabes? Americano. Tú no eres americana, tú eres colombiana. Tú eres colombiana y lo que te corre en esa sangre es Colombia. Así que no te equivoques. Y esto es un programa en español. Si no hablas español, en la próxima palabra te largas. ¿Me entendiste? Si no hablas español, te largas.
Sí, señora.
Oh my God. Oh, that's ridiculous. Who wrote that? Who wrote that bit? Oh my God.
You think that's they?
I'm gonna ruin it for everybody. This is acted. This is acted. I have audition tapes and shit like
Con
that
todo
for them.
respeto, doctora. Le voy a explicar lo que pasó, por favor. Yo entré, sí, solo era un reto, no expectaba, pero esto es América. Pues estamos...
¿Y qué?
En América...
Esto es un país de inmigrantes. ¿Por qué tienes que forzar a los demás a hacer lo que te da la gana a ti?
Pues porque yo era el customer,
¿Y qué?
Y
si tú hablas español, si tú te das cuenta que esta señora no entendía, ¿qué te hubiera costado decirle, señora Collar?
This is so cringe. I hate this. Who wrote this? Yeah, no, it's all acted though. That one, 12 Corazones, like all of those that there's a lot of auditions on Actors Access and everywhere for it. Just saying.
Right, I know, but what do you think overall? I guess overall the concept is that well the comment was made or in terms of this thread was that this is an example of like people that are bilingual or that are English dominant getting shit on as not being full Latino enough.
Yeah, that's what part of me that's why I was also like I was cringing because I'm like, dude, that reaction, like, let's just say it's real, right? That reaction was very, I don't know, it was fucked up. Like, I don't like when people shame others just because their dominant language is English. I understand there's like a little joke and you can say like, oh, la pochita or lo que sea. And
la fresa.
That makes la fresa, yeah, all that stuff, totally fun. But to like freaking like basically scream at someone because they're speaking a different language, but they're still trying to participate in the case. Like, I don't understand the anger. I don't understand the like, si no dice la palabra siguiente en español, te sales.
Real cases, all acting.
I think, yeah. I don't even know about the real cases, actually. Maybe they're...
Kurt with the appropriate ha, 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 ha.
Yes, Kurt. But yeah, no, I don't know. That seems like it was a little extreme, in my opinion. But I know that that's the hate that a lot of Chicanos,
Yeah,
especially
no,
get.
like I said, my dad used to get mad when we were in New York in the '90s, and there would be like Puerto Ricans or Colombians, and they would come over, and then he'd be like, "Oh," and then he'd be like, "Oh, you're Puerto Rican? Are you Colombian? No, that's español." And you're like, "No, no," and then he'd be like, So I think
Yeah.
it's a part of a. I think it's important to. I think it's important to realize it's a part of the culture, obviously, duh. But
Yeah.
but I don't think it defines us, and I don't think that I'm like like it's such a small thing.
Mm.
Like I'm a Latino filmmaker and I'm Colombian, but I make movies in Spanish and with the tons of Mexicans. Like I don't know, like I don't feel that because I don't speak as much Spanish as I do English, as that diminishes it all.
Yeah. Do you think that like Hispanohablantes are watching that video and kind of getting, I don't know, like satisfaction out of like, haha, yeah, beat down the Bocha American, whatever? Or do you think that like, because I feel like they probably see it as very cathartic. I don't know. And I don't
Yeah,
know where that stems from,
I
but
think that there's a certain part of the culture that is like, yeah,
stick it to her. Yeah.
I mean, it's something to be proud of to be bilingual, right? It's something that's like unique about us, but it doesn't make somebody that speaks less Spanish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make them like John. His Spanish isn't as great. Like he
Mm-hmm.
had a role in Spanish. I had to help him with some of his accent and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't make him any less Latino. Dominic, well, that might be a different.
No, come on.
Dominic, well, I don't
See,
know.
that's what I mean. I'm like, as much as I like to put myself on a high horse and be like, oh no, like we should all accept each other. Like at the end of the day, you do, measure how Latino you are on the spectrum, and then you can't look down to the people that
So
are
there
less
is
Latino than you.
there is a Latinidad tier system.
I think so. I think so, and I think whether it's spoken about or not. So I think that the most Latino that you can get, I am talking, you live in,
Live in Mexico, you live
in
in South
Mexico,
America.
in South America, yeah, speak it, live it, and don't know a lick of English. I think that they probably feel very satisfied and validated when they see this woman yelling at this, Americanized Latina. Sadly, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying
Right.
that that's kind of how it is.
Yeah, and if I see a Colombian girl and she can't and her name is Luna, but she wants to be called Moon, which is which is the fakest thing I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's a manufactured thing, but it does be like come on, do better, right? It's got to be
Mm-hmm.
something like that, right?
Yeah, no, I
All right.
agree.
Anyway, I thought that was interesting here for Hispanic Heritage Month. All right,
Mhm.
thumbs up emoji gets canceled.
Is it really though? Oh, Gen Z, why are you doing this to me?
This is something that I think they just obviously it's this is something that right wing will take off and be like another example of cancel
Mhm.
culture. All this was a survey of some younger Generation Z's and asking them what they use. It's the same thing as like the part your hair thing, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's just them differentiating themselves from the previous culture, the
Mhm.
previous generation, right? Basically saying that the thumbs up emoji is now considered rude or hostile. Like when you send somebody a text about something and they just text you back with like the single
Okay.
letter, the K,
Yeah.
and it's like that's a little passive aggressive. That's a little like
Mhm.
K. That's either like you're big timing somebody or
Yeah,
or
you're
you just
mad at that point.
you're putting the bare minimum effort, right? So I think the way they're considering is that for their generation, when somebody does this, it's just like it's more of
Mm.
like a sarcastic, like you know what I mean, rather
Mhm. Like,
than
arre, cool.
it's not. This is we would did it like this, but they're doing like, "Ooh," you know what I mean? That's kind of how they view this.
Interesting.
So for younger people, the thumbs up emojis used to be really passive aggressive. A 24-year-old Redditor wrote, "It's super rude if somebody just sends you a thumbs up."
Yeah.
I had a weird time adjusting because my workplace in the same. Older workers appear flummoxed by their reaction, noting they use a thumb up in work-related chants to signal, I approve, I understand, and I will obey. So basically, here are the 10 emojis that are canceled. Okay, the official list of canceled emojis is the thumbs up, as Kurt demonstrates, the red heart, which I think people feel it gets overused. You know, the okay hand. I don't know if that's because they turned that into like a racist thing. The check mark. I don't get that. The poo emoji. What? Who's mad at the poo emoji?
It's good. I mean, you continue.
The loud crying face. The
Oh,
monkey covering eyes. You use all of these, Sophia.
I use all of the above. I'm a millennial. I'm not a Gen Z.
Monkey covering eyes, clapping hands, lipstick, kiss mark, grimace face.
Yeah, I've noticed that. What's that called when like one generation does something and then the other one rebels against it? There's a term for this.
Yeah.
But anyway, I feel like I feel like anything that, like, for example, when we were younger, the millennials, Facebook was all the rage, and then older people started getting on it, and now no millennial uses Facebook. Like, it's not our main source. And I feel like that's happening sort of with TikTok. It happens with style. It happens with, and now emojis. And I have noticed that like my younger friends don't really use a lot of emojis. But we grew up in the time where there were no phones, to having touch screens, to having emojis. So we overused them during our youth. Then now I feel like Gen Z is kind of like, backtracking, kind of turned off to emojis, which I feel like it's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, everything that is old will be new. Yeah, I mean, and I grew up with no emojis, and then the original like chat room emojis where you had to do them yourself, and then
the apostrophe, the little all of the grammar stuff. Yeah, so I'm like, well, that's why we overuse them, is because
I never that was like in my day, back in my day, I didn't do that because I thought that was for chicks. I never did emoji. I never did a smiley face. I never did a smiley face, LOL, nothing ever.
Oh, I will say you sound very cold. So like that, yeah, like
what?
When people don't use emojis, people just sound cold. Yeah. So I read your messages monotone.
My favorite one is, what is that? I don't know.
I don't know the little square one.
OBJ mermaid.
OBJ mermaid.
I don't know. I don't even know what
object.
OBJ means.
I think OBJ means object, so it's something in a mermaid. But it's not.
Objectify a mermaid. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Grimace face that's just cringe. The lipstick mark, I don't get that.
I have a friend whose boyfriend also didn't use emojis. Like, he just wasn't big on it, and she literally was like, "Hey, I feel like you're like talking really rude to me by not using emojis, so can you please start using emojis?" And he did, and now he uses emojis. Yeah.
I specifically remember the first time I was texting a girl, and there's like, "Dude, you need a," and I was like, fuck. And she's like, "Why don't you say like LOL at the end of that?" I was like, "Because I'm not laughing. I'm just, I never get it." And then it's like the millennial urge to always use LOL at the end of a text, right? And like, even if it's not, like, I don't know. I don't get that as well.
It's mainly to set a tone. Like, that wasn't serious,
Yeah. It's like, haha. Yeah. I never did LOL. I still don't do. I don't do LOL.
I do LOL. I do a lot of LOL.
I never LOL. I used to do rolling on the floor laughing if it was like in a chat room and it was something super funny. But I never do LOL. If anything, I'll just do like a laugh emoji. Instead of doing LOL, I'll do that. But I just feel weird saying LOL, especially when I'm texting another guy. I just like, that was always weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it's more like a manliness thing, I guess, for me.
Yeah, because I'm like, that's not a millennial thing either. I feel like
it's more of a machista thing. It's more of a
machista thing, yeah. Because I'm like, all the guys that I text, like friends and shit like that, or I see on chats, they use a lot. They use emojis. Maybe not a lot. They don't overuse them like girls do, but they use them.
Kurt says, I think if you put LOL, it takes away from the comedy. I mean, I want it to be funny naturally, but I guess if I'm too monotone, I should add a little flavor to my text.
Yeah, so the LOL is just mainly like, for me, my friends that like know my
Sad
sense
phone.
of humor, I will say the driest line and not put any emojis or LOLs. But if I'm texting someone that's like more of an acquaintance, I feel nervous that they're gonna be like, wow, that was rude or something like that. So I just put LOLs.
Loud crying face,
JKs.
monkey
Yeah.
covering eyes. All right. Anyway, Gen Z is mad at these.
No,
They're
fuck
not.
Gen Z.
They're
They're
not with it.
children.
They don't want thumbs up, so you
They
should
know
just
not what they say and do.
find and they're not listening, so they don't care. Fuck you, Gen Z. You can't, you know what they say. You can't fight against the youth because they're rude people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's from a song. That's from a song. All right.
Use it.
All right, moving right along. All right, I wanted to retweet this today. Hey, Twitter, let's help these kids make some robots. So these kids are making robots. I'm gonna retweet again.
Ferk, yeah.
Kids are making
wait. Robots are gonna take over the world though, do we?
Yeah, but we want some on our side.
Okay. All right, I see.
So they're trying to, I'm sure they got like $600. Yeah, they'll make some money. All right. Retweeted them again. Okay. This one's kind of we're gonna have to get into that one.
Ooh.
Politics. This image has diaspora Twitter in shambles. Look at this picture. Look at the audacity here.
Oh my god. What?
That's the caucasity.
That's the caucasity. Oh my god. Who does that?
White people.
Oh, I guess they're wasting avocado.
The caucasity. Yeah. This is
It's so simple. You just cut it in half. You peel. Oh my god.
All right. Is this woman holding an iPhone in a 1960 painting?
What? There's no way someone inserted that in there.
Well, it kind of does look like a phone, right?
It does look like a phone, but it could also be, what would be an old-timey explanation for that?
I guess the thing was she's supposed to be carrying her prayer book, is what the description is of the picture, right?
Okay.
Because this is from like literally 1860.
Yeah.
But if you get in there, it's like kind of looks a little bit like it almost looks like a old school iPad.
Looks like Gen Z.
Like not like an iTouch, like iTunes. You know what I'm talking about?
An iPod?
iPod, yeah, an iPod. Yeah, it kind of looks like a little iPod. Who knows?
Huh. That's wild.
Okay, so Dr. Oz went to have a Dr. Oz and Nevada Senate nominee Adam Laxalt just held a $5,000 plate fundraiser in California, staged right in front of Adolf Hitler's car.
No.
Yeah. So they covered up the swastika on it, but this is where they decided to do their
what?
thing. I don't know.
Dr. Oz. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a prayer book. It's supposed to be a prayer book.
Miniature Bible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a prayer book. Okay, so that's just interesting. All right, so I want to get to the chess and the poker in a little bit.
Yes.
But I want to knock out the LA Council stuff. So are you familiar with this story?
I don't think so. Elaborate.
Okay. This is huge. So Nuri Martinez, Gil Cedillo, Kevin De Leon, and LA Labor Federation President Ron Herrera were making racist comments and discussing redistricting during an LA Council meeting. So Nuri Martinez is the president of the LA City Council. And basically here's some stuff that they got caught on video, on audio.
He did call me. He wants that.
Oh, yes. Okay.
What's taking him so long?
I just said, hey, we need to talk.
Gil supported him from the.
All right, don't worry, I got you.
So basically, she he's with the blacks.
Yeah. This thing, it's like black and brown on this float, and then there's this white guy with this little black kid who's misbehaved. Este niño has they're not even, they're not doing, The kid is bouncing off the effing walls on the float, practically tipping it over. There's nothing you can do to control him. Parece changuito. And I'm just like, oh my God.
So saying cállate changuito about somebody's black kid.
Well, dijo parece changuito. So.
Yeah. Que cállate changuito. And then basically a bunch of other stuff that the interesting part about all this stuff, the audio and stuff, is that it dropped probably about a year. This happened about a year ago. So some people are sort of theorizing that this might have been like blackmail, and then they finally decided to drop the video. Probably. So basically they were caught, and then they had some she tried to resign as the president but keep her seat on the city council. And they opened it up and they basically tried to sweep it under the rug, and the whole community came out and was like, we're not down with this. And they took over the LA City Council meeting. Let's see if I can find the video for that. Because they came out in force. And then finally today, so basically they went hard after her at the city council meetings here. Yeah, they weren't very happy with her. There was people. Oh, this was a good one.
First of all, fuck you. Fuck De Leon.
Oh.
Fuck Nori. And fuck Cedillo. Fuck this whole meeting right here because it's illegitimate. The people are shutting this shit down afterwards. This whole thing is racist. The fact that they had the audacity to sit here in front of the people that they mocked, that they minimized, that they demonized, that they marginalized is unacceptable. The fact that you are trying to continue with business as usual is unacceptable. 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 We are the people and we are the voices who matter in this room right now, not yours. I yield the rest of my time, but fuck this.
Next, we have Pastor Thimbali.
Okay. All right. Well, that was passionate.
Yeah. So they tried to basically just say, oh yeah, big deal. I'm gonna be the president, but we're staying on the council. And then eventually she basically did end up they were protesting outside of her house. And then she said she is resigning as president of the LA City Council. So she basically was like, I'm resigning as the president, but I'm staying on the council. And then they were like, no. And then she finally did resign. Resign. So the interesting thing about that is that I can't see this article.
Yeah, that's interesting. So
is that in her resignation, she said
Kanye. Yeah, sorry.
Kanye as well. That she said that she hoped that she inspired all the little Latinas.
No, wait, she said that after the fact?
She said that in her resignation speech.
No mames. Oh my God.
This is her resignation speech without an apology. It is with a broken heart that I resigned my seat for Council District 6, the community I grew up in, my home, when I ran in 2013, blah, blah. Over the last 9 years, I've had the honor, almost the last 3 years, blah, blah, blah. To my constituents, serving you has been a privilege. To my colleagues, I've known, blah, blah, to the city employees, to my family, and lastly, to all the little Latinas across the city. I hope I've inspired you to dream beyond that which you can see.
Damn, man. That is wild.
She didn't apologize for any of her. She says, remember me as a Latina girl boss and nothing else.
Oh, geez. Yep.
She's like, remember me as a girl boss and nothing. Don't worry about nothing else about me.
Girl, tone deaf. This is not the time.
To all the little Latinas.
Oh no. Okay.
So yeah, so that's basically the main the big story really in Southern California right now is her is so
It's I find it similar to the Ned Fulmer thing, except she got fired quit, forced out for racism instead of infidelity. Does it change your mind when it comes to racism, or do you believe she was racist? Okay, what is your whole take? Just give me your whole opinion.
well my as with most things it's a little nuanced. I think that because this is a big issue with Latinos, right? Which
Yeah.
is and this is something that I've talked about before, which is the whole, that as growing up as Latino, we face racism, but we also face racism for people that, like I told you, like I used to maybe be talking to or dating a white girl or a Filipino girl, and they'd be like, I'm going to meet your family. And they would say, and I was like, well, your white daddy or your Asian daddy, are they racist? And they're like, yeah, they're racist, but at least you're not black, right? It was always like,
yeah,
there are levels to racism. If there was no black people in the U.S., all the races would switch over to the Mexicans, right? That's kind of like they're second,
Yeah.
right?
And then where there weren't the Latinos, there were the Italians and blah blah.
Right,
Yeah, it's a
exactly.
hierarchy.
And the Irish, right?
Yeah.
The Irish, the Italians, everybody gets set. But for our lifetime, for our generations, black people take a lot of the hits up front, right? Take a lot of the heat, and we support. And there's obviously not. We support black issues a lot. Latino community, a lot of them ride for Black Lives Matter. A big percentage of the Latino community in LA did not stand for this. They're like, that doesn't represent us. Black and brown need to work together. She needs to go, right?
Yeah.
But it is an uncomfortable truth that sometimes part of assimilating into the country is taking on some of that racism to fit in. So there are Latinos that assimilate, but that still maintain racist attitudes, either because they want to fit in with white people or because they just grew up with these racist undertones, either because they're vanilla beaners or they're white passing or whatever, or they're just Mexicans and Latinos who don't like black people.
Yeah, there's even like Latinos that cross illegally and are like, oh yeah, I'll burn the bridge behind me,
Exactly, right.
and are racist against their own. So yeah,
they close. Yeah, I'm in. Who cares about anybody else?
Yeah.
So it does bring up those topics. I think the community responded in the right way. There's no place for racism in city council. LA is a melting pot of black and brown. They're probably the two biggest minorities there, and along with the Asian community, they have to be able to work together. So any person that's doing that be closed doors, they're obviously suspect. The other side of that coin is, as much as there's still racism against black folks in the Mexican and Latino community, and as much as there's still that tension, there's also a lot of racism towards Latinos in the black community. So if you polled African Americans about how they felt about immigration, their views on immigration aligned a lot more with white people in terms of closing the borders, less immigration and stuff like that. So as much as, Twin Burritos, black owned, Hispanic owned, female owned, like we're a melting pot. So for us to be like one side or the other is not credible, because we're a mix. But, I don't think people are ready to have that conversation. Are we writing for you as much as you're writing for us? I don't think I don't think we're having that conversation, because we both communities, both cultures have their own issues, and we're trying to be supportive of each other. But and I think it's probably like 70% of it is great relations, and then 20-30% of it is still conflict. I felt it a lot more in California than I did in New York. In New York, black and brown are a lot more mixed in the school system, on the streets and everything. When I got to California, black and brown don't mix as much because it stems from the California prison system, where, black and brown are segregated and against each other. That spills out onto the streets. So that leaves the residual stuff. I think amongst young people, it's less, and amongst like the left and stuff like that, like it's more there, but it's still there. It's still underneath. So unfortunately, shit like this brings up a lot of those issues,
Yeah. Yeah.
But
No, I was just gonna say it's unfortunate on all sides in the sense that like it's terrible what she said. It's terrible that it's happening behind closed doors, and even worse if it affects Black people through legislation and stuff like that.
Right.
And I can't help but to think of Kamala Harris though, or like other politicians that are committing way not worse crimes, but like for example, actually like genocide, supporting genocide financially, immigration, like stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like they did the right thing because she's definitely racist and she should not have held that position. And she got caught. So, I'm happy about that. And a part of me is also kind of like, there's just more white people to fill in the spots, Or
Yeah.
like other prejudiced people. Like I guess what I'm trying to say is like, does it fix anything? And I think I may be a pessimist about it, but like that anger that girl felt cussing up a storm in there, I'm like, that anger could have also been redirected to like actual economic reform as opposed to like you're racist. But like I understand that it's a problem, it's an ongoing issue and it should also be talked about. I don't know. Part of me also feels kind of like, damn, that sucks because what's that song? Everyone's a little bit racist.
Because you're one of those little Latinas that she inspired. What?
No, because I don't really necessarily need the performative aspect to it, like the way Kamala inspires little,
Right.
yeah, Black and Indian girls and stuff like that. I'm just like, I'm not about the performative stuff, but it is. If we're looking at it how we started the show, when it comes to the lesser of two evils, I do think that even though she's, she may be a little racist, she might write a little harder for minorities than, John Smith. Whose
Right.
ancestors owned slaves or something like that. I don't know. That's just my pessimist side coming out. But obviously, like, I don't agree with her at all, and I'm glad that she's not working in council.
So, is your hypothesis that a racist Mexican lady can never be as racist as a racist white guy?
No, I'll never say never on anything. I think they can. I think they can be genocidal. I mean, freaking yeah. But I do think that as far as like the way that we look at Democrats versus Republicans, and Democrats at least might give us like the student loan debt thing, or like, maybe you might do one good thing. I do think that if I see like a very conservative white person versus like a more liberal Latino, the chances are, one's going to help us out a little more.
Yeah, I think the interesting part of that is who recorded the audio.
True.
Why did it take a year, and who's going to gain those seats? I think those are all valid points.
Yeah, and then also it was all three. It was three people, right? So three seats that are open, and they were all Latinos.
I don't know if the other two people resigned. I know she was the president, so she resigned, and then she finally fully resigned. But I'm not sure. We'll follow up with it, but.
Yeah.
But the interesting part is that she finally resolved, and then she dropped that girl boss at the end. Like,
yeah, that was not a good move. That's when I'm like, dude, get out of here. Just stop. You're not.
All right. Kurt says, I got to be honest, the most racist jokes and commentary I have ever heard was from when I was living in California. It was from Mexicans and Asians.
Yeah, not gonna lie, like
people felt safe around you. You got invited. You got invited to the barbecue, Kurt, to the carne asada.
Yeah. So. It's unfortunate. I don't know, man.
It's there, and
it's there.
I think that Gen X is the first generation that really looked at their parents and at their elders and was like, "No, I don't feel that way because I'm in school with people of all kind of colors, right?" And then millennials took it further, and then Gen Z
is taking it more a step further.
Yeah. Gen Z,
so it gets better, but yeah, I feel like she's what, Gen X, or like. How old is she? I don't know.
She's probably Gen X. She's probably in between me and you somewhere.
Yeah, so she's learning the hard way that you can't be racist. Like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's a weird, uncomfortable, mixed feelings, I guess.
She's kind of hot, Kurt. I don't know.
Kurt, come on.
I mean, you just
yeah. Just be better, people. I don't know. Just be better.
Just be better. All right. Yeah, that's good. Move better. Don't say racist shit. And that's it. Pretty much it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a politician.
Yeah. Like, hold yourself to a higher standard. Like, I don't know. It's infuriating. It's disappointing. Yeah.
All right. Utah woman forced to give ex-husband Boudoir album in divorce. A Utah woman has been forced to hand over an edited album of racy nude photos to her ex-husband as part of their divorce, so he can keep the loving messages accompanying them for memory's sake. Basically, this wife had some sexy pictures of herself taken, put them into an album, wrote some kind words to her husband, gave that to him as a gift. Things went sour. They became her ex-husband. Okay, all right, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Matt.
And basically, the Boudoir album was the only thing her ex fought to keep during the divorce.
That is so weird, bro.
Davis County judge ordered that the album would have to be handed over so that the words are maintained for memory's sake. However, the photos could be given to the original photographer to whatever it takes to modify them so that any pics of her in lingerie of that sort or even without clothing are obscured and taken out. The photographer, close friends, initially refused to edit the pics. So in August, the judge ordered her to instead give them to another photographer to edit, someone she believes her ex-husband knew. So what do you think? Do you think that the judge should... Do you think it was a fair ruling?
That he got to keep them?
He got to keep them.
I don't think so. I think that that's what's that called when revenge porn, sort of.
Revenge
It could
porn?
be used. It could be used for revenge porn. Yeah, I believe that even if it was a gift, well, once you break up, you need to give back all the naked photos.
Hello.
You need to. Oh my God, Lou.
I mean, that's a picture that you're showing there.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I think that it's giving me revenge porn. So I don't like it. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, depends on what a gift is, right? So let's look at the so what I've been told and the knowledge that I've been imparted on me is that if you're going to propose to your girlfriend, you don't do it on Valentine's Day, her birthday, or Christmas, because then the ring is considered a gift. And if something happens, she cannot be compelled to give you that ring back. If you propose to somebody on March 2nd and it's not a specific day, then basically the ring is a promise of marriage that I'm giving this to you to represent that we're engaged for marriage. If shit goes sour, you can ask for the ring back in certain states, right?
Yeah.
But if you did it on Christmas, Valentine's Day, or her birthday, guess what? Or your anniversary, then that ring is considered a gift.
Yeah.
And once you give somebody a gift, it's a gift. So if you went and you hired a photographer, got the lingerie, shot the boudoir shoot, put it in an album, gave it to me, then that is my album.
I still disagree. I think that you can make the comparison to an object, a ring, when it's like naked photos of yourself. I think that that's totally different. No matter if it was a gift, at one point, it's just like if it's over, if the relationship is no longer sexually active, then yeah, you have to give back the nudes. Makes no sense. It's kind of disrespectful, and you can use it against revenge porn.
Is that part of the? Because I haven't gone through this. Is that part of modern breakups? We going into each other's phones and deleting the nudes that you sent.
I don't know, but I would hope it is because, I don't know.
I mean, are people really doing that?
I would, hypothetically. I haven't been in that position, thankfully, but that's also because I don't send pictures much, and I tend to have amicable breakups. But I do know of a lot of women and a lot of douchey guys that show around naked pictures of girls that they are no longer having sex with. And it is, it's fucked up. And if they were to upload it to a website, like their career could be over. So I just think that it's like different when it's somebody's naked body. If you're ending a relationship, it just feels rapey and abusive. Because also, why would you want to keep it to, like, why,
Titties.
I get it, but like there's plenty online. You don't need to do that. It just seems sad and like pathetic.
Titties that used to belong to me.
Yeah, they don't though. Like, again, objectifying. It's like, it's nasty.
I mean, I'm
like,
playing devil's advocate here. I'm just trying to get into this creep's mind, right?
And I get it. Like, I get it's a gift, but it's different if it's like a naked.
You can't take back them titties.
Yeah. Like,
you can't unsuck this dick, wife.
Like I
I'm
have, I just, for example, someone gifted me a like little checkbook of sex checks that you
mm,
can give it to your partner and then they can cash it, right?
right.
I'm not gonna take that literally and use it on my ex-partner and be like, "Hey, you gave me this gift, so now you have to fucking like, what the fuck? No, who's that creepy? I regifted that shit."
I don't mean, when's it valid till?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, "Arr, I know we're broken up, but you still gotta give me
Valid 2
oral." Like,
weeks post breakup.
yeah, like it's so pathetic that you would want to keep them, A, and B, like it puts her in a revenge porn situation, and I just think that it's like violating. I don't know. There's a violating aspect to like why can he still have access to my body even though we're broken up? I don't like that. Yeah,
All right.
not fucking
Okay.
with that. Yeah,
That makes sense. That makes
yeah.
sense.
The ring, I also defend men. If you want to take it back, I think it makes sense, even if it was a gift. So, by the way, I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think it's a slippery slope. Hope they took some pictures of that. And and yeah, I don't send pictures of my junk because I need a very specific lens and an angle to look impressive. I need some very
Oh my
specific
god.
lighting. I need a makeup artist. I need a
Boudoir shoot. Yeah.
I need a team. I need a Dutch angle.
And the
Uh,
lighting. Correct
lighting needs to be
lighting.
perfect, or else
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. No, yeah, I think you're right. I was trying to basically just kind of look at it from the guy's perspective. It's a gift from your wife. Maybe it means something. I think what he tried to get away with there was the words. He wanted the messages, that the sentiment. But then once they're like, yeah, you have to give it back to somebody to edit the pictures, then it's like, what's the point? At that point? I think he's just being petty.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
It's giving pettiness.
It's giving me pettiness. I don't like it.
All right. All right.
Be better, people. Be better.
Moving right along here. Chess
Yeah.
champion gets butt inspected.
He did not get inspected. Did he?
Why wouldn't he?
Oh, I thought it was like alleged that he was. Okay, you just continue. Yeah.
No. Okay. So these next two stories are these two stories are related. We're gonna go chess first, then poker. Currently obsessed with the notion that Hans Niemann has been cheating on the Sinkaki Cup chess tournament using wireless anal beads that vibrate him the correct moves. So essentially, Chini's channel is buzzing. So basically, what's this guy's name? Magnus, right? Magnus
Carlsen, yeah.
Magnus Carlsen is like the current GOAT of chess. Newcomer Hans beat him in a tournament, and essentially he's being accused of using technology to cheat. And one of the technologies that there's these, for those of you guys who are not familiar with Japanese pornography, there are anal beads and stuff that you can control virtually, and it's basically like, here, put on these vibrating panties, or put these vibrating anal beads in, and then me will control it, and anytime I want to try to turn you on, I'll just press this button and you'll get stimulated, right? So it's a little kinky-ish if that's your kink, and some people want to get into stuff like that. But so the theory is that somehow, even though they check him for stuff and he's sitting at the table, his butthole will vibrate and tell him what the correct moves are. He's also been accused of using software when he's playing online. So basically, here he is getting his butt checked.
Nice.
He's getting his butt checked here before he goes to play. So basically, the theory and the reason that it jumps up is because his movements and his game is too similar to perfection. So games like chess and poker have been figured out. This is something that's called game theory optimal. Game theory optimal, GTO, and poker. You can do game theory optimal in anything that's a game, anything that's a sport. It basically is just the most optimal way to perform and to play, the decisions to make, whether that be towards the end of a chess game where most players will just play to a draw versus making different types of aggressive moves to try to get the win. his performances were too close to what a computer would do.
Mm-hmm.
So he went from not being really there.
Yeah.
So Chess.com banned him.
Yeah. Well, it also has to do, I just want to add to that. He has been like found, he has admitted to cheating in the past. And then also his rating is a lot lower than Magnus. So it's one of those like not even an underdog story. It's like a impossible, like it's nearly impossible that he would beat somebody with his rating. So that's why people are holding on to the he cheated thing pretty strongly.
Well, like it's the old meme where the guy's like, "Oh, I met a girl and I lied to her and I told her that I knew how to play chess. What do I do?" And that's like, yeah, just open up another chess app, have her go first, enter the moves into the chess app, and then just do what it says. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, okay, cool. So basically, when he's online, it's very easy to cheat because you can have real-time assistance, something that's telling you what the optimal move is to make. So now the question is, are they taking that, sticking something up his butt?
Do you believe that? Do you actually believe that?
Do I believe that he's got anal beads that vibrate that tell him? I mean, what like 3 vibrations means queens to rook 4? Like what is the
Yeah, no, man, I'm not buying it. Not for that one, not for the in-person one, especially because like chess is so complex. How are you gonna get from vibrations which moves to get and that fast? I don't think so. However, I don't put it past him. I think that as a person, I don't like him. He has a fake accent and he's American, but he tries to sound Russian and he's a douche. And I don't, I don't mistrust that he would be capable of cheating. I just don't see how he would have in that particular game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and then Magnus had an online match with them and he resigned after 1 move.
Yeah, see? So, yeah.
Basically saying he wouldn't play against him until they got figured out.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he had a very short commentary as well, where they were like, "Oh, how did you?" I don't know, whatever. The post interview, and he's just like, "Chess speaks for itself," and then he just like walked away. This man is like, he's infuriating. I don't know how he would have cheated though, but like, I don't doubt it. I just don't think that he would go for the anal beads. But
you don't think he's going anal beads for it?
I mean, it's like what, Morse code with anal beads vibration, like F4 rook. I don't know. Like, how would you know which move?
The only thing I can think about is maybe if it was like
like 1 vibration for knight, 2 for bishop.
No, what if it was like aggressive versus not aggressive? As in, should you continue to push forward versus should you play a defensive move? You know what I mean? Because that's the only thing I can think of, because specific moves, unless, and I'm not advanced at chess enough to where based on a specific position, are there only 2 or 3 moves that would be possible that are the most evident moves that you can make?
No.
And then would you be able to sort them based on number of buzzes? Like 1 buzz means the most aggressive moves, 3 buzzes, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of the only way I could think that it would be possible.
On a very low grade chess level, maybe, but honestly, when you're at that level, you're trying to make moves that are like 5 steps ahead already. So sometimes you can do something that's completely innocuous, but it's leading up to like an aggressive move or something like that. So I don't know that a vibration could tell me what move to make. Like I'd be like, what?
Plus, if you're sitting at a table, isn't the whole the chair gonna vibrate?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I'm like, that theory, no, it flunks with me, but I still don't trust the guy, nor do I like him.
Kurt prefers 3 buzzes. Hey. Somebody discovered the prostate in Florida.
Yeah.
And whatever gets you off, Kurt.
Good for you,
good for you, man. All right. So is there cheating in chess?
Probably. Yeah. Yeah, this guy's such a douche. He like fakes his Russian accent. It's so annoying. Have you heard it?
No.
He's from California.
If it's not,
and he talks like this as if
it's not the Botez sisters.
I don't want it. Yeah.
I don't want it. And it's not even both. Just the one Botez sister. The other one's kind of annoying. I like the one that plays poker.
You like Andrea. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, sorry. You like, which one's the one that plays poker? Andrea's the young one.
No, I like the other one. Yeah, the original.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Se me fue el nombre. But yeah, she plays poker. She won a lot of money.
Yeah, she played on the stream we're going to talk about in a second as well. Yeah, she didn't do horrible at poker. There's a bit of a crossover. So that brings us to this other story that happened that kind of went viral over the last couple of weeks, which is the Hustler Casino. So Hustler Casino in Los Angeles has a live poker stream. Let me change my banner for this because I am going to be doing some give me a second here. Jeez. I am going to be doing some poker related content at some point because I love poker.
I love chess. So how about we
combine it?
We combine it. We teach each other how to be better.
Did I even make? Hold on a second.
Oh no! Clear.
Where is it?
How many anonymous ways do we have today? By the way,
I had two, but I think people were submitting more. Somebody told me they submitted a couple. So, okay, cool. So this is a segment that we're going to call Poker Casually.
Very cool. All right.
Yeah, poker Casually. Yeah. So basically, Hustler Casino has a live stream where people play poker. That's when they had like Mr. Beast and the Botez sisters, and they had influencers and stuff mixed with poker players. It's at Hustler Casino as a live. It's called Hustler Casino Live. They have cameras. They have RFID chips in the cards so that we know what they have. So you get the cards, you put them in front of a box in front of your thing, and then it sends a message to the control room, which has the screen, and then they put up the cards, and then they have graphics, right? So you can see here, for example, this is Robbie. She's one of the people that's part of the grip. You can see right here, Garrett has 8-7 of broccoli of clubs, right? And then it keeps track. They start playing at 5 or like at 3 in the afternoon. They start broadcasting at like 5-6. There's like a delay on the stream so that they can be prepared for what's happening. And then they have a commentator reacting to what's happening live. And in theory, nobody should, besides the people that are running the show, should have access to these cards, right? So this is a hand that happened a couple of weeks ago on the show, and I'll stop it to sort of give you an idea from a poker perspective why it is something that people are freaking out about, right?
That was like one of his first TV appearances. One of his first ones, yeah. That was like before he won all the.
So right here, you can tell Garrett is Garrett Adelstein. He is a guy that used to be he was on Survivor. He's an LA poker player pro. He plays the highest stakes games in LA. Like he'll sit down at a poker table with $500,000, $600,000 and play like 100, 200 big games. All the money that you see in front of these guys, all these purple chips, chocolates are $5,000 each. The green ones are $1,000 each, and the white ones are $100 each. So all these people. So right here, Garrett has $813,000 in front of him. Robbie has $133,000 in front of her. Okay. She's got Jack 4 offsuit. For anybody that knows about poker, it's not really a hand you're supposed to play. He's got 8-7. But if you don't make a pair in poker, whoever has the highest card wins. So if nobody makes a pair and you have an ace, you win, then a king, then a queen, then a jack, right?
Tournament, same money, yeah.
So here we go.
Wow, Robbie really mixing it up here, calling Garrett's raise with Jack 4 off. It's wine versus wine, and Garrett here has flopped a straight flush draw, 10-10-9 with a couple clubs. He's going to bet 2,500.
This has been viewed 7.5 million times.
Wow, and Robbie's going to call here with Jack 4 with the Jack of clubs.
All right, so here's where it gets a little interesting, right? She has Jack 4, which means she's got nothing. Before the 3 came out, she still had a chance. Like if an 8 or a 7, she still has a chance for a straight. If a jack came, she would have jacks and 10s, right? But at this point, she has nothing. She has Jack 4. On the stream, the previous hand, she had Jack 3, the previous hand. That's coming to play in a minute. All right. As you can tell, Garrett has 8-7, which means he with a jack or a 6, he can make a straight because he would make 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or he's also has a straight flush draw, which means he needs a 5th club to make a flush. Okay.
Turn
So
is a3, puts backdoor hearts down. And this is usually when Garrett will lay the hammer down with combo draws.
Oh, he got the purples.
So you bet 10 grand.
She's got a 1 club and 1 heart. And
Oh, she got the purples
look
too.
at this. What is she thinking about here?
And you can even hear the commentator like, what the fuck is she doing?
Gonna raise it.
So he beats 10,000. Never draw to an inside straight. Yeah. Mama says don't go chasing flush draws.
We saw her raise
or gut shots.
Ace King.
She min
a little bit
raises.
ago for a min raise. Here she's gonna min click. I think
She min raise, which means like she clicks it back.
Minimum raise. What does that mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
When you play poker and somebody says I bet $5 and you're gonna raise it, you have to make it at least that much more. You can't just say $5 and then you say, well, I make it $6. You have to make it $10. You know what I mean?
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
So at this point, she ain't got shit. He bets 10,000. She doesn't have shit. She has a jack 4. She can't make a straight anymore. She can't make a flush anymore. She doesn't have any pair. And he makes 10,000. He raises us to 20. Then he goes all in. He's got and you can tell the percentages right here, right?
Yeah.
He's got 53%. She's got 47%.
Ooh.
Now, technically, at this point, he doesn't have a pair. He's got all the outs. He can hit any club. A 6 or a jack wins the hand. An 8 or a 7 will win the hand for him because you'll make a pair. So that's why his says 53%, hers says 40%. But technically, right at this moment, she is ahead because she's got jack high. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when he goes all in, he's going all in on a draw. Means he hasn't hit his card yet. He's just hoping that he hits a flush, that he hits a straight, or better yet, that she just folds.
Betting in. Yep. There's the all in.
So she tanks for a little bit, meaning she thinks about it. And any pro poker player, if you could see these cards, even if you knew you were ahead because you had jack 4, would still fold because you're up against a hand that's got a much better chance of winning the next card, right? So what she does in this hand is not something that 99% of poker players would do.
She doesn't fold. Oh, okay.
So she thinks about it.
All in. Oh my god.
Garrett, like
So
I
he
said,
went all
he's
in. So
so
he's all in for 130 grand.
Bet patterns, bet sizing. She's gonna put a time chip out.
Wow.
And you can hear the commentator like, what is she thinking about doing? She's got fucking jack 4 offsuit. This is nothing.
This is why you shouldn't be in hands like this.
What?
She doesn't have a 3.
What are you doing?
So after the hand, she goes on to say that she misread her hand. So she says she thought she had a jack 3, and she says she never went back and checked her hand, so she thought she had jack 3.
She calls? You call me with a jack high? You call me with a jack high?
What is going on here?
Once, but it's up to you.
Is it possible that her hand might be misread in the card graphics or something?
What?
So at this point, she's ahead technically because she has a jack. She's got a high card. But for her to feel good about winning, she would have to either hit a jack or a 4 on the river or not. So this is a $269,000 pot.
You do? Yikes.
No, I just thought this is a pure bluff catcher.
With jack high?
But
So she started acting a little weird.
Yeah.
I think you have to be.
Well, go to the river. The river is a 9.
So now the way Hold'em works is it's the best 5 cards. So you can play one. So basically right now she's got 10s and 9s with a jack, and he's got 10s and 9s with an 8. So she wins that board, but they're running it twice, meaning they're doing it twice
Points
to.
you for sure.
They're gonna run it
Let's see if I can
twice.
pocket five
And
or something.
she's
You have,
gonna.
like, small pair?
You give me that much credit?
I don't know.
She's good with the first one.
Let's turn him over. You're not No.
If the cards are correct.
The commentator's like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Yeah.
River breaks out again.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So,
Right. Look at his face when he sees her turn over her cards.
I want to see.
Yeah.
Does she
Look at him. He's like,
she's gonna have different cards.
No, look at his hand. Look at his face.
What?
Whoa.
Look at you.
Wait, no, what a pause.
Look at his
Whoa,
face.
look at Garrett's
Yeah.
face. That is.
That's some fucking poker right there. That was sick. Wow. That was sick. Oh.
Look, and the reason he's making that face is because that's not a thing. Any poker player, immediately he sees that she had Jack 4. She called him with Jack high.
Yeah.
That is unheard of. Now she's gonna say, "Oh, I knew he was bluffing." Now Garrett bluffs a lot. When you bluff a lot, when you make moves like that, like she could know. But if he had, she was like, "Oh, if she thought he had a flush, he could have had like Ace King of broccoli, which Ace is ahead of a Jack, so she would still be behind him." So the fact that she called off for $109,000 is sus as fuck.
Yeah.
And you can tell Garrett's played a lot of poker because look at him right away. He's like,
that is super, super strange. You can see his
right
reaction.
away. He's like, this isn't like something's happening.
Yeah. Did she win that one? She won that one.
She won the whole pot. She won $135,000 from it.
He wants to vomit.
This guy Andy is another professional poker player.
Yeah.
He's also like looking at it like, that's a
So
little sus.
did he fold? Is that why she just kept bluffing?
No. He went all in and she called.
Oh, okay.
She called with a Jack, which is it's not a thing in poker. It's not a Jack high is not like a, even if she thought he was bullshitting, if she had an ace, maybe she calls. If she had a king high, maybe she calls. But a Jack high is a very tough call.
Yeah.
So the theory here is that she got some information that told her that she was ahead. So the theory here is that there's a guy that worked as a production assistant on the show.
Beads.
And right, this got into that far. All right, so if you skip ahead a little bit, they have this discussion.
He seems somewhat disturbed.
He's pissed off.
He's so pissed.
He comes off screen. He pays her the money. And he's like, that's not really a thing in poker. He gets mad. So he walks off stage. And then she walks off behind him. They talk, and then she's like, what she basically says, I misread my hand. I thought I had a 3, which would have meant she would have had a pair. And blah blah blah, this or the other thing. Anyway, he's like, no, he's like, no, this is sus. She's like, what can I do to help make you feel better? And he says, well, you could give me back my money. So she goes back to the table. She takes $130,000 and she gives it back to him.
Oh.
Which, unfortunately for her, made her look even more sus.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I won that fair and square, even if I made a mistake and I won money, I would keep it. Like, I'd be like, I'm sorry, dude. Like,
yeah.
But that makes her, that makes her more.
So
sus.
there was a guy that was at the table with her that's because the shit gets deeper. So basically, that's the initial shit. That hand happened. It's all crazy. It's all over the place. They go off stage. They come back. She gives him back the money. The guy that was with her, this guy called Rip, who has a cowboy hat on, gets super pissed. Starts calling Garrett a pussy. Starts doing this. Starts getting mad at him. So Garrett eventually leaves. They keep playing. And then the poker world just freaks out. 7.5 million people have watched that clip so far.
Oh my God. Damn. And where is she from? Is she a professional poker player or is she like a celebrity?
No, she's not. She's married to a rich guy, but somebody paid her way into the game, and she's never played at that high stake. This is a $100 $200, $400 game with people sitting at the table with $500,000, $1 million in chips. She was playing on a $20 stream or on a $5 stream. So this is the first time she's played. That's why it's even more sus. This is her first time playing in that big game. So then people started breaking down the video, her actions, what she did, and the fact that she gave the money back.
Yeah. Devil's advocate, could this have been just somebody that's inexperienced in poker?
Yes. So that is basically where the argument went afterwards. Because basically what people are saying that defended are that it's very clear she probably misread her hand and then was embarrassed that she didn't. So then she tried to make it sound like, oh, I knew you were bluffing and I knew that Jack High was good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that sounds like something I would do, honestly. I would just like, if I ever play, I'll be like, aha, have a shit hand, but I'll still bluff. I don't know. I wouldn't know what I have. I would just go all in.
Exactly. So she wasn't experienced. She could have done something like that. Or so then what happened is everybody gets pissed. They start investigating things. My man Joey Ingram has done so far 5 10-hour live streams where they had basically anybody who's anybody. They had her on. They had all these poker people on, all of them talking about it. And most of the people that feel that she cheated are like, she had to know what was happening. There had to be a signal that she got that told her that she was good in the hand. Like, you can't, like, there was a cheating scandal a couple of years ago, this guy, Mike Postle. And what he was doing is he was looking at his phone in his crotch the whole time. And he was making these outrageous, like, God moves. Like, he would know when he was behind. He would know when to bluff. He would know everything. And he was always looking down at his crotch. And the thing is, like, people thought that he was getting the signal of what the cards were. Big scandal a couple of years ago. So basically the thought process is if you knew you were going to win the hand, but you didn't know how you were going to win the hand, it just tells you stay in this hand because at the end of it, you're going to come out ahead. Don't worry about it. But maybe she didn't know that she was going to win the hand, but she was going to win with a shitty ass jack. Yeah. Like maybe she thought the last card on the river was going to be a jack, and all of a sudden she has a pair of jacks and she can win with a pair of jacks as opposed to winning with Jack High. So that's kind of like what they're thinking. Now, after the stream, after all this happens, an employee that works in production, right, walks by her table and takes $15,000 in chips off her stack.
What? Why? We don't know.
And when they started investigating this shit, they went over the video and they caught him. Apparently, this was a guy that worked on the stream and that every night after the stream would go off and play like 20-40, like splashing around money and shit like that. So the theory is that if this is a guy that was the one that was helping her cheat, this is somebody that could walk in and out of the control room and could see the cards. So he could see what was coming, see that she was going to win, come back, press a button, let her know, hey, you're good. And then she played the hand that way, and then she gave the money back, and he's like, fuck this bitch, I'm taking what was supposed to be mine, 10%.
Yeah.
And took the $15,000 off the table.
This seems a little more feasible to be anal beads, anal plugs, whatever.
About 2 months or something like that before this happened, when the whole chess thing was happening about cheating, this dude legit tweeted out, serious question, how does somebody cheat at chess?
I don't know how, like, that one is
he tweeted that out. The guy who took them in had
Hans Niemann?
No. The guy that was working for Hustler that stole the money. He literally tweeted out, how do you cheat at chess? And people were like, the anal beads, dude.
Anal beads, bud. Yeah, and in this one it would make sense because all she needs is a yes or no. Like, yes, keep going, no, stop. So I feel like anal beads. This one makes sense.
All right, so and we're done after this one. Here's my my casting for this story. Joey Ingram, which is he's He's the guy that's doing the investigation.
Oh
You know?
my God, uncanny.
Yeah.
Those
So
dumplings.
we're gonna have old Hawkeye here be
Hawkeye.
a rugged Joy Ingram years after the controversy. I think I love poker and I love making movies, so I'm the right guy to write and direct the movie about this.
Yeah.
Garrett Adelstein, he was on Survivor. We get
Yeah,
get
Channing Tatum. That's
get
totally
Channing
yeah.
Tatum. That's a good one, right?
Same shirt. Look at them.
Yeah, same shirt. Phil Ivey was there, so I said only one man has the stones
Gray
to play this
worm.
goat.
Yeah. Love it.
The stones, get it.
The stones.
And what else did I do? What was the other one that I where's my thread? Where's my thread, Lou? Oh, okay.
Oh, there it is.
Robbie, a little bit of stunt casting. People are saying Angelina Jolie, for Robbie. But
I wanted Angelina Jolie. That's what I was thinking.
I think we go Mia. We go with a little stunt casting. No? You think that's a little no?
I think Jolie. Yeah.
Okay. This guy's Nick Vertucci. He's the guy that runs the stream. Little Danny DeVito for that guy.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that works.
Looks great.
And then this guy was there too. He's Eric Pearson. So I think we go with buff guy here, buff old guy. We need a buff old guy to play him.
What's his name again? I forgot. Swimmer? I don't fucking know. The actor? No.
What's his name?
That buff guy. He's an actor. I forgot his name.
Yeah, Hawkeye investigates poker. And then Tom Dwan was involved, but we got to get Zuckerberg to play him. He looks just like. All right. Yeah. So that's kind of like tying those two stories together.
Yeah. A lot of cheating in our worlds.
A lot of cheating.
I think the poker one has a lot more proof, I guess, or more suspicious activity towards it. Chess one, I don't know. I think we're all just ganging up on a douchebag. He's annoying.
Hawkeye investigates poker. Okay, so the other part of this, she knows how to play. She just outplayed him, though. So here's the thing. Here's the interesting part of this story as it got into the mainstream, right? It hit Twitter, and then it hit the mainstream, other regular shows, and then people that really didn't know a lot about poker started getting it. So then it became a male-female thing. Because basically what they started to say, what the tweets were coming out were, well, let me get this straight. A woman poker player takes a statistically unadvantaged line, ends up beating a male poker player, and then the male poker players all say that it had to be because she was cheating. That's so sexist. So there was a bunch of those types of takes coming out. That were trying to turn it into like a bigger issue about sexism and poker. Like women in poker get a shit deal. And there's always this thing like, how do you get more women into poker, etc. But I think it was kind of very weird that when the mainstream got it, it was like, it turned it into like another weird thing where it's like, well, it's a woman. It's a man. Anyway, this shit is still ongoing. The investigation, like all the people involved are getting lie detectors. It's completely taken over poker Twitter for like the last 2 weeks. It's insane. And I've been sort of digesting a lot of it. So I figured we'd talk a little bit about it before we.
Damn. I can see that.
Before we moved. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. And then lastly, the Sydney Sweeney redemption tour continues. She's going to star in a new Barbarella movie for Sony Pictures. Barbarella, the old movie, Jane Fonda, I believe, was in it, or somebody else. My white boo is going to be in there.
Great. So exciting, Lou.
So excited for her. Hey, man, I think the redemption tour continues. She needs to let people know she's not racist, and she needs to fuck a brown guy.
I don't know, just her and Florence Pugh. It just feels like Hollywood is really trying to make them happen. They're really trying to make these white girls happen. Cool.
They are.
She has boobs. I'm happy. It's great.
I'm happy for her boobs.
And Florence Pugh, you're talented. I also don't get it. Like, I get it, but I don't get it. It's fine.
Did you what? Did you freeze? Sophia froze because her internet is horrible. Let me see what we have here. Sophia. Sophia. Anyway, we'll wait for her to come back on. She unfroze. Mr. CCDV, thanks for stopping by today. Mr. Hello, what's up? Sophia, who wins the Russian-Ukraine war? I think we're not doing a bunch of.
Was I still here, or did I?
You were there,
freeze?
but you were just frozen.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, all right. Well, I'm back. Cool.
Naname's way. No,
No, Naname's way.
We're starting Naname's way. All right.
Nice.
Let's see what we got here.
Now it's time for
No Names Way.
No Names Way. No Names.
All right.
All right.
Here are our questions. I think we
How
have
many do we
three.
have? Three?
Three.
Ooh.
Three.
Okay.
First one comes to us from Speedy Nonamis. Is Sophia single and ready to mingle? Oh.
Great. J.K. Simmons. Sorry. I'm looking at the
J.K. Simmons.
chat, and Mr.
Yeah.
CCTV said that was his
J.K.
name. Why did I say Schwimmer? Anyway.
Swimmer,
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons. Yeah, J.K. Simmons.
Um,
He got buff for one of the latest for that.
Yeah, he's looking good.
So yeah, that's the first question.
Yeah, no comment.
Is Sophia single, ready to mingle? Comes to us from Speedy No Mamis.
DM me and find out.
Ooh.
Coward.
It goes down in the DMs. It goes down in the DMs. All right. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it happened. Next question comes to us from Zed Thompson. If our knees were bent backwards, what would a chair look like?
Holy fuck, that's a good question.
I think the same, right? I mean, the function of
the
the chair
same,
is...
but it would have to be like a gap so that our legs go under the chair as opposed to in front. Right? Our knees would everything we sat on would have to have a gap.
Unless
under
our
it.
hips went the opposite way as well, it would be like we were straddling every chair, right?
Yeah. We would have to just put our legs like on the chair.
Mm-hmm.
How would I sit on this couch right now?
Because your waist, if our legs bent backwards, then our waist would also have to lean the other way, or else we would just be like
It'd be like back, like what?
Yeah, no, the opposite would be like forward. You'd be like, you'd walk up to a chair, fold down, but then your torso would have to twist back up in order to.
So kind of like kneeling, is that what you're saying? But like backwards?
Yeah, just stools. Just stick to stools. Yeah.
Yeah, I think stools would be the way to go.
It's too brain broken.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then this last question comes to us from Trauma Shmama.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. I was listening to your chat with David Fernandez when you were talking about generational trauma and how that carries through. I understand what you're talking about, but it seems a bit hokey. How can what happens to your grandma affect you today? We should take more responsibility for our current situations and conflicts and deal with them rather than blame the past. Just my opinion.
What was the question exactly? Just basically an explanation of what generational trauma is or what it looks like?
I mean, I guess it's more of a commentary that that they don't understand how it exists and how is what your grandma went through relevant to why your life sucks today.
Well, it doesn't always have to be, but in the case of generational trauma, whenever someone has unresolved trauma, you usually find a way to pass that on to people by abusing them. So like, for example, back in the day, we used to hit our children, right? And maybe your parents were the one to stop that generational pattern because they are traumatized and therefore that's where it stops. Domestic violence, any type of trauma that you can have, you can find a way to let it onto others if it goes unresolved. So yeah, generationally, that just means that it's throughout generations. For example, traditional stuff like hitting kids,
Right, but is that okay? So, but that is generational trauma that gets manifested through actions.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what we're talking about is not necessarily that your grandma hit your mom and your mom hit you, but
societal more so.
No, well, because I'm sort of going through this right now,
Mhm.
because of to try to evaluate my relationship with my parents and my father, to see if that reveals reasons why there's certain things in my life that I haven't been able to change. So I'm looking into my family history, and some of the things that we found out through my mother's side is that my family on the Colombian side sort of had a very similar storyline to like in Encanto almost, because it was like they were living in a town and they were well off, and then some shit happened where they had to leave, and their life changed dramatically after that, and that affected my grandmother's sort of family very deeply. And then that trauma affected my mother and all her sisters very deeply. And so the theory is not necessarily that it's just the actions and what they force, but that literally their DNA is changed, and that the mothers carry that down through the generations and pass that down, so that it's not only learned behavior and actions that your parents and grandparents take with you, it is also how that trauma that they suffered gets literally passed down and is inside of you. And that creates something that you need to either deal with internally in order to get past it. The other part of that is generational trauma, and promises and relationships that you make with your family, and things that change you, and things that you make promises to as a child that stay in your subconscious, and that it's kind of like the little man behind, really it's like the ratatouille rat that's actually pulling the strings and is guiding your decisions, right?
Yeah.
So I can only speak from personal experience, but it is something that I'm learning more about. Yes, there's a part of it where it happened in the past, so you have the power now to not let some, but I don't think you have to like just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I think you do have to do the work at some point, and you do have to be honest with yourself. You have to take a look at your family history, take a look at your own limitations and at what you've done with your life, and then sort of, it's a mixture of both. I think you do have to take ownership of what's happening right now, but you also can look at what's at your family history, at your own personal history, and deal with those issues so that they don't affect you as much, if that makes more sense.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think that, yeah, that's a beautiful perspective as well. And I know where the commentator was coming from, in the sense of like pull yourself by your bootstraps, and you need to take care of your own traumas and take responsibility for them and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we're nature and nurture mixed together, and so the nurture does play a huge part into whatever traumas we may evolve into or grow. And all we have to do is just take responsibility for them and resolve them as soon as possible. So I think with that segment, we weren't necessarily being like, oh, woe is us because of generational trauma. Not necessarily. It's just more so about acknowledging wherever that trauma came from and then moving forward with it. And both are not mutually exclusive, right? Can exist and coexist. So
Yeah. I think David's whole thing is examining it so that you can
Move forward.
examine how it affects you. And then we've talked about this before with colonialism. The colonialism that happened 500 years ago in Mexico is still affecting Mexico today.
Yeah.
Because it affected so many generations, and it literally changed DNA, and it changes your interactions. And remember, we have fight or flight because of when we either had to eat or be eaten, right? And we still have those fight or flight instincts. That's not something that we don't have to fight lions and tigers. We don't have to battle the apes for the best trees. We don't have to do any of that, but we still have fight or flight inside of us. And that is an example of generational DNA and instincts that have been passed on because of what our ancestors thousands of years ago had to deal with.
That's the nature part.
That's the nature part. So the stuff that our grandparents, great grandparents had to deal with is definitely something that's still inside of us someplace in our DNA, and it is something that we have to deal with. What did the CCDV say before? My grandparents were Okies, migrant farm workers. I grew up in LA during the riots in the 90s. Different traumas, same effect afterwards. Yeah, Vietnam vets versus Afghani vets, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, no, it's definitely a thing, but we have the ability to look at that, analyze it, and take steps, do the work to try to have that not affect us as much.
Yeah, exactly. Amen.
Exactamundo. All right, let me see if we got any more. No, that's one. Let me
I
make
think
sure
that was the third.
I have a cousin, loves to party. Is Sophia single? I was listening to her chat. If our knees met backwards. All right. So 2 silly ones, 1 serious ones. Not bad for the week. Not bad at all. And we're coming in at just over 2 hours, which is our goal.
Yeah. Mr. CCDV is recommending A Child Called It. Yeah, for generational trauma.
I do it, and
I read that in like middle school. I forgot what it was about, but I remember it was a really good book. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm reading some stuff now about the promises you make to yourself when you're a kid.
About the root witch? What?
And that's next. That's next. Well, yeah. Thank you, Deborah Castaneda, for the book.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm excited to read it. Read it before bed every night.
So we learned a lot today. Poker scandal, chess scandal, LA
racist.
Council scandal. Don't be racist.
Don't cheat.
NASA did confirm that we knocked that asteroid off course.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're still in a
That
floating
confirmed today.
We're still on a rock hurling through space.
This is the point in the podcast where Lou gets existential. So
we're still stuck on a rock held together by magic, hurling through an infinite space, and we were aware that at some point something had to come from nothing. We're a drop. We're a grain of sand in an infinite sea. So don't take anything too serious. Just love each other. Go make some art. Spend time with people you love.
Yes.
Right?
Amen. Yep.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Hasta luego.
Vamos, papá, hay que irnos. Me estoy aguantando desde que pusieron el domo.
Puedes esperar. Muchas personas trabajaron en esta película y solo quieren que te aprendas sus nombres de memoria.
Y yo quiero asegurarme de que ningún animal resultó lesionado durante la filmación de esta película.
¡Listo! ¡Uy, palomitas en el suelo! Oh.
Espera, parece que Maggie tiene algo que decir. Es su primera palabra. Espera.
4 años de escuela de cinematografía para esto.